Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments to help you with your HUT lineup decisions. Again, if you want your question answered in the next video, make sure you subscribe, the notifications on to get your question in quickly because I go first come, first serve. Or if you want, come check me out live on Twitch. I'm live every single afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/nosleeves12. Hope to see you there, and I'll answer your question live. Let's get into today's questions. We'll start with SNC. Sleeves, I'm getting up there in age, brother. Preach. Been playing hard since NHL 98. Was a top 50 100 player in the years before HUT became the main mode, and I can no longer make it to Division 1. Do you think my skill sticks are just declining, or the player base is more skilled than ever? The main question is, though, will you on purpose let your kid beat you in Shell, or are you going to make him earn the W when he's older? So, a couple of great questions here. First of all, I have gotten far worse the more that I've played this game over the last few years. I think my best year was NHL 21, when I would average like 16, 17 wins in HUT champs. And now I'm like 14 at best, maybe. I think that's something that's happened over the last few years, especially since like NHL, I would say since the Gaming World Championship. I think that you've seen more players, the top end players that never used to stream or produce content, they're now all producing content. And what happens is when you have players like Polgs or Geimer or some of the Duncan Deli, some of the best players in the world, when you have them constantly showing everyone what they're doing and they're not hiding it, you're not just randomly seeing them in tournaments, you now have a much more educated player base. So I think that like it's a struggle to get to Division 1 for me now, right? And obviously I'm not an elite player, but I used to just fly right through, get to Division 1 and that was it. Right now, you have every single player you're going up against kind of knows what to do, right? And again, that's just because there's just more content out there from the best players that can help them with that. So no, I think that the player base is just much more educated. I think a big issue is the server selection for NHL. I don't know many games that get impacted by server selection more than NHL, which sucks just because of how it's played. So depending on where you're located, you're matching up against players with a much lower ping. As a joke, I would say like Quebec has an advantage over Southern Ontario players. Southern Ontario is probably the worst place to play high-end hockey ultimate team simply because our closest server is Quebec, and while not all Quebec players get 2 ping, we get 25, right? And 25 is great ping, but when you're playing 2, it's like a far big advantage, right? That'd be like 40 to 20, right? So that's a main issue. In terms of will I let my kid, I will never let my son, I will never let Landon beat me in Shell. He's gonna have to earn that one. I hope he picks another game though. I honest to God hope he picks like Halo or Call of Duty, something. Not NHL. I picked Pavel Barber from the Celebrities pack. Oh, any of them were fun. Whoever you wanted, right? Maze Jolt says, hope all is well. Loving the content as usual. Buckle up for a hot taker question. Is it time to remove Unstoppable Force from HUT, or at least not give any player over 6 foot 200 pounds that ability? Because the nerf to shoulder checks in the first patch really made it close to impossible to hit GOG, Ovi, and Yager off the puck, sadly. So if they insist on making shoulder checks less viable, some abilities, such as Unstoppable Force, should only be on smaller players, in my opinion. Thoughts? I mean, balancing is always going to be an issue. The thing that I would argue is that while Ovi and Yager are some of the best cards in the game, in fact, they're my 2 first-line wingers, especially in Division 2 and 1. You have guys that use like McKinnon or let's say Jack Hughes, right? And they're just so much faster, right? I think maybe this is a hot take. I think that you can't remove X Factors from HUT. I don't think that they were a great addition to the game. But the one thing is, until we get custom strides and custom shooting, there is nothing to differentiate from each card. So if you remove X Factor abilities, you now have a even less customizable card and just weaker content, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that X Factors are great for the game. I don't. But I think that it would be even worse, again, if you go back to just attributes, because then it's who's ever biggest and whoever's ever fastest, right? Drummer Guy Cam says, good day, sleeps. Thank you for the advice on the 1-3-1 with R3 combo. It's helping quite a bit. Since the gameplay update, I seem to be giving up more goals and not scoring as often. I always use run crash the net because I love tipping home the big ones. But I know it's risky because I seem to give up possession quite often. Should I just give into the behind the net style? Any extra tips on how to make smarter shots? Also, what is the best way to defend the far side shot? I always end up screening my goalie trying to block it. Thanks again. brother, as always. Okay, so a couple questions here. Crash the net is a viable strategy. I think the issue with Crash the Net, though, is that it's not predictable once you're in the zone. So Crash the Net is great in lower divisions because you're mostly just going end to end. In lower divisions, there's not as much cycling because I don't want to say both players know how to cycle well, but they're usually a lot less patient with the puck, so they're just trying to get it off their stick. And Crash Net will work great off the rush, but once they're in your zone, they're kind of just doing their own thing, which is why I think that it's not nearly as effective as behind the net or overload. Behind the net, when you get into Division 2 and 1, I've always said this, you're playing a different game. And the reason for that is because the meta of how this game is played is not how the game is intended to be played, but it is simply, if you want to win games, that is it. Like, there is no other way around it. There is not very few people in this game that play it regularly can play what you would consider real hockey the entire game and win consistently in Division 1. Like, I'd argue that there's very few that aren't using cross creases or the goal line shot or anything like that to try and get extra goals, because it's very hard, man. Good players play good defense. It's very hard to find any open things. So behind the net is, I don't want to say necessity, but it'd be very hard to use Crash the Net. In terms of smarter shots, what ones have a shot to go in, but I think that focus on holding onto the puck and wait, and when you get into the zone and you're firing home one-timers and things like that, notice when the goalie's tired. When the goalie is tired, guys, shoot from anywhere. Like, that's what I would recommend. In terms of blocking the far side shot, where they're going to end up. Don't try and meet them. Just go there first. Hey, Sleep, should I do Juracek or Faber to replace Breezeball? I would go Juracek. He's been a great player for me so far. Hey, Cam, when is the best time to sell your extra fodder? When the team builders come out, or wait for Team of the Year and sell them then? Keep up the great work. Team builders are coming, and it's like kind of all the community's talking about right now. I personally think that it'll be next week. I have no idea, or the week after even. They're being very slow with progression, and if they go up to 90 overall, that's 8 90 overall players. As of right now, Mario Gretzky and Howe are 90, and then I think the only other 90 is Draisaitl, randomly, even though McDavid has 17 points in his last 2 games. But everyone is selling fodder now. Like, everyone trying to buy. Like, personally, I went and I bought 24 team builders worth of gold cards, so that when the new ones come out, the new team builders, there won't be 4. It won't take 2. It'll take 2 87s to make a 90, but there won't be 4. There'll be 6. They'll make you go and get more. That's just business. Like, they're going to try and get you to spend more money on packs, right? That being said, so I went out and I made 4 extra team builders worth of 87s, right? So I would need 2 more or 4 more. So right now they're very expensive. My guess is that everyone's already been saving. Like, the casual player has been getting team builder cards. They probably have 4, right? So that means they're automatically getting 290 overalls. I don't know how many are going to go rush out. Like, everyone thinks that gold NHLers are going to go up to 2,000 coins. I don't think that. Maybe the first day, but you have to remember, guys, every time you open packs, the gold NHL players are always in there. It's not like you're pulling a prime time that's only in there for a week, right? Team of the Year is probably a good time to sell your fodder, but you'd probably make gold NHLers if you're not interested in team builders very soon when they come out. Hey, Slaves, when do you think Team of the Year will come out? It is always the first week of January, or the first event of January. Hey, Slaves, love the content. I was wondering if you've noticed the patch making a difference in gameplay. I've noticed the forced cross crease still going every time. They didn't do any patches to the forced cross crease, and if you are struggling giving up that goal, please go watch my YouTube short on how to stop the cross crease. It basically, they're allowing you to interfere with the backdoor player in front of your net. It helps considerably. When it comes to what I've noticed in the patch, hip checks, I don't notice any unless someone's lined it up perfectly. So that was good. The full pressure system seems to be in a good spot. Like, I was getting it basically in Division 2 and 1. You're getting it, your opponent's getting it. You're getting it, your opponent's getting it. That kind of thing. Now it's like I notice maybe 1 to 2 on either side a game. So I think it's in a good spot. The goaltender getting their energy back much faster is good. I think there's always going to be tuning and things like that. Outside of that, I really haven't noticed anything else. Maybe shots going in a little bit, like clean wrist shots. That Bedard, that next-gen Bedard with 98 wrist shot accuracy and power, we're so early on in the game, that card having that attributes, goaltenders are not rated high enough to be able to handle that. So they will go Bedard scoring every time you shoot a far side wrister. So that's pretty much it though. Dude, squad battles is riddled with AI penalties. I want to know why the AI can't play defense of any sort. Yeah, squad battles appears to still have an issue with AI penalties. I don't know why, guys. Red Eye says, bonjour, you're the absolute go. Thanks, buddy. Kryptonite says, yo, Sleeves, just wondering what I should do with my rivals and squad battles collectibles. Also, what is your favorite meme that you've come across regarding the NHL? So I was wondering what I should do with my rivals and squad battles collectibles. Mega players packs probably, or no, jumbo elites. I think there's 16. I could be wrong there. It's either mega players or the jumbo elite ones, I think. In terms of rivals, if you're getting rivals collectibles, man, take untradeable rewards. What is your favorite meme to come across regarding the NHL? My favorite meme regarding the NHL? I honestly don't know. I'd have to think. Jordan says, yo, have a good one, dude. Always good to see you on tube. You make this game way more enjoyable. Appreciate that, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Lewis says, hey, Sleeves, I hope you and your family are doing well, man. They are. Currently have Jack Hughes, Makar, Eichel as X Factors, still chasing McDavid and the two big power-up icons. Am I getting to the point where it will soon be impossible to keep up with all the upgrades, or do I have to choose between them? Thanks for all the great content. You're getting close where it's going to be very expensive. Like, one upgrade is going to cost like 3 power-up collectibles, and that's a lot. Jack Hughes and, like, here's the thing. Jack Hughes and Makar, I think, will get Team of the Year. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's going to be Carlson and Quinn Hughes, to be honest with you, but Makar's point per game is so much better, or as good. And Jack Hughes, well, this year he's been unbelievable. Last year, he was like 18th in scoring from January 1st on, so I don't think he's getting it. X Factor Eichel is just one of the best cards. Eichel has a custom stride. He's big. He's just so good. I probably would not go any further, man. I mean, if you're doing all the objectives, you're still getting a bunch of free collectibles every week, so. Captain says, hey, Sleeves, I'm looking to change up my defense since it's lacking in firepower and also shut down defenders. My D pairs are Kale McCarr or Hughes, Hedman, Sider, Minchikov. Okay, so go and get Juracek, 100%, to replace Sider, probably. The other, on the left-hand side, go... You're missing some team builders, so assuming you can't do team builders... I'm trying to think, man. Probably like Kevin Lowe would be great. Kevin Lowe would be great, and Breezewell too. Hey, Sleeves, how much fodder do you estimate we need to build one Team of the Year? I have 1,300 gold players in my bank right now. Not sure if that'll be enough to make a Team of the Year. Go back and take a look at the fantasy event. How you made fantasy collectibles will be how much Team of the Year will be. So then just do the math. Should I keep Knight's X Factor or reroll? I think she's been great, man. I mean, if you have a bunch of X Factors, and yeah, probably. Like, I powered her down, but I have so many power-up cards. She's been really good, man. Bedard doesn't look good at his stars. I'm assuming you meant stats. Bedard's wrist shot is one of the best in the game. He scores every time he shoots it. It's nuts. Hey, Slaves, thanks for the awesome content as always. I've been really appreciating the YouTube shorts about strategy. Any chance you would give some pointers on zone entry from center ice faceoff? Brother, have you watched my streams? I am like a baby deer. I win almost every draw. It is something that I will still stand by. I am extremely good at when it comes to the player base because I'm just a nerd about it, right? And I love gold quick draw. The second I win a draw, no one moves, and I'm like, okay. So, honestly, the best thing to do, when you win it back to your defender, wait and see what your opponent does. Don't move. If your opponent takes your centerman and runs at you, that means your centerman's going to be open. Fire it through. If your opponent doesn't move his centerman, look to the left winger, and the AI will eventually come towards you, leaving your left winger open. You have to be patient. Like, you can't move. That's how you do it. All right, so I apologize if I didn't get to your question in this video. Make sure you subscribe, notifications on, to get your comment in as quick as possible to get an answer on the next video. Thank you again for all the subscriptions and hanging out, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.